So, welcome back, everybody, and good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are on the planet. And I'm very grateful that we are here today with Lane Cawthon. Hello, Lane.
Hello.
Yeah, I have to tell that Lane is a doctor, chiropractic, and he has studies on functional medicine and functional neurology, and he has studied many different approaches in the US, Mexico, Italy, and China. And he's here this evening to talk us about um, detox, but specifically, and I would like to start with this question about detox before conception. And I would like to ask you, Lane, why do you think it is important to do detox before conception? It's something that I'm sometimes struggling to help my clients understand the importance of that instead of thinking that it is a waste of time.
It's definitely not a waste of time. Basically, detoxification before conception is so important because nutrients that our body uses to create this new bunch of cells, this new body that's forming, um, can be tainted with toxicity. So, for example, if we have heavy metals in our system, we're taking those heavy metals out, we're putting them into the infant's body. We're putting them into the embryo that we're forming. If we have, for example, chemicals that are affecting our hormonal health, we're also influencing not only our hormonal health, but the development of the fetus that's growing inside. And it also shifts how that fetus actually develops on a brain level.
Mm.
So there are a lot of toxins that can become influential in the development of how our brain functions, how our bodies function. If you have a female fetus, that actually is impacting her reproductive tract. So her
Wow.
egg is forming in her body while the rest of her body is forming. And so you can actually affect two generations down by the state of health in your own body as you are developing this fetus. So from the time, both for male and female, from the time that initial cell is formed, that initial zygote is formed,
Mm-hmm.
the chemical environment of not only just the quality of the DNA that's being combined, but the chemical environment of especially the mother's body is going to have a huge impact on the trajectory of the development of that life from then on. So you're catching someone at a time when they have the opportunity to give their baby a good start, a
Mm-hmm.
pretty good start, or a bad start, depending on what the chemical state is like of their own body. So it's very important. But when we talk about toxicity, we don't just talk about the chemical environment.
Mm-hmm.
Toxicity comes from also what we think and what we feel.
Mm-hmm.
So our body does different things with the nutrients that we give it depending on our perception of our life. So for example, if a mother is stressed, the development of the embryo will depend on her hormonal chemistry, and it will change brain development so that the child that's developing will have a body that's geared more towards physical activity and fighting and protecting
Mm-hmm.
rather than pursuits like art or communication or things that involve a higher degree of intelligence but maybe not as much physical ability and physical prowess. So the chemistry of the body will shift the development of the baby
Oh,
as the body is forming. So it's very
see.
important that we address emotional toxicity as well. Emotional toxicity translates to a chemical toxicity within the body. So Paracelsus, the Swiss alchemist from the 1500s,
Mm-hmm.
said that everything is toxic. The dose is the only difference,
Oh.
right? So even oxygen, too much will kill you. Sodium, too much will kill you. Water, too much will kill you, right? It's just the dosage that's different. So essentially, toxicity is anything that's out of balance. And when we
Mm.
look at our own chemistry, when we look at our own lives and the chemistry that it creates, anything that's out of balance in us, emotionally or in our lives, will run the risk of determining of creating toxicity by skewing the development of the fetus in one direction or another that may not be in the best interest of that new life that's forming. So
Yeah.
I'm
That's
offering.
very cool. And I would like to ask you a very important question. So let's say that a woman who is trying to get pregnant is in a detox process. How long after the detox stops is it better for her to conceive? Is there, let's say, a protocol that it's better to, I don't know, some days or some weeks to pass by, or can she start trying immediately after stopping the detox process?
That's a good question. So the way that I approach detoxification is a little bit different. Sometimes people will take a detox program and they'll spend 3 weeks doing something to try to get clean, and then they'll go back to a life that's not that clean.
Mm,
And we detox all the time. Our
mhm.
body's made to have different detoxification systems that are handling different types of chemicals, different types of poisons in our environment all the time. And so it's not like you ever stop detoxing. There's no way to stop a detox and then get pregnant later.
Oh, okay.
Constantly detoxing, even while that baby's forming, we are still detoxing. So it's important to focus in on boosting our level of activity of our detoxification systems, and we can do that in a short term by taking certain nutrients and certain herbs and living in a certain way. But there's no point in time when we stop detoxing as long as we're still alive. Now, that being said, it's best to wait until I would say weeks, like a couple of weeks after a detox,
Okay.
you start to try to conceive
Mhm.
because your body needs that time to really replenish nutrient stores within the
Okay.
body.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
doing detoxification, we're going to, if we're really using a lot of these detoxification enzymes, we're going to use a lot of things like sulfur or like the active form of folic acid or things like that. And so it's good to just have some time to boost those up. Of course, people take supplements to support the process, and that's great too.
Mm.
Um, but this is kind of a misconception that people have about detoxification, that it's something that you do every once in a while, and
Mm.
then between detox, you just try to live clean and try to avoid toxins. That's not really how it works. We're constantly detoxing.
That's very interesting. And actually, I would like to ask you. I mean, I have some clients that they think, okay, just fasting, that means, balancing their diet can help with getting out toxins out of the body. Do you think that can be enough, or do they need to do more things for a deeper detoxification?
Fasting is helpful, and when we fast, we activate certain genes in our body that do promote certain aspects of detoxification. But detoxification is a larger system. And so when we focus in on just fasting, we're only activating certain detoxification pathways. We're not really activating others that much. And so fasting is beneficial, but
Mhm.
it may not get to some of the things that we want to get to, that we want to get out of our body.
So what
So
else would you say that it can contribute to an overall detoxification?
there are a lot of nutrients that we can utilize. So, for example, alpha lipoic acid. It depends on if you're wanting to get rid of heavy metals,
Mhm.
specifically if you're wanting to get rid of more like industrial pollutants, solvents, or if you're looking to get rid of uh, waste from the GI tract, from bacteria that are in the GI tract, and we're absorbing nutrients or toxins from them. So we can focus in on different things. But a general menu of things that are helpful for detoxification are sulfur-containing foods, so garlic and onions and things like this.
Uh-huh.
Um, Broccoli, cruciferous vegetables are really great for upregulating a lot of our detoxification pathways. Green tea is another really good one to help with certain detoxification pathways. A lot of the berries, so things that have the dark color of fruits or bright colors, those are really things that are helpful. Certain spices also, like rosemary or turmeric, can be very helpful. Black pepper. And when we mix those with certain oils, we get an increased response from the body of certain pathways that we need to activate. So getting good quality oils in the diet can actually assist in detoxification rather than just fasting. So
Uh-huh.
there are a lot of things like that that are helpful. Alpha lipoic acid from root vegetables, especially if they're raw, can be very helpful. There's like a whole list that I give to people sometimes when I start them on a detox. But broccoli sprouts are one of the things that will really strongly promote detoxification. Watercress is another one that works really well with certain enzymes.
Well, that's very
Uh,
interesting. And can you tell us, Lane, if there is a way that people can learn from you more, and especially this period, also we are in the change of the season, so it's probably the right time for people to do that, wanting or not to get pregnant.
yeah, absolutely. I am doing a detoxification program now. There's no fee. You can join us. It's a free detoxification program. It's called Rebirth Resonance Detox. So we're actually looking not only at the foods that we can use to increase our detoxification efficiency, but also looking at what are the emotional triggers, what are the mental triggers that are keeping us in a less than healthy habit in life, and how do we change those? Looking at relationships, looking at things in our environment, where do we lose energy, or where do we get less efficient use of our space? That also can be considered toxic in terms of how it impacts our lives and how it impacts us, our ability to move forward, how we use our time, all of these things. So we're creating balance and harmony in all these different aspects of life to create a sustainable change so that we can detoxify on a regular basis. So that's happening April 19th is when I have my first call to start the program. You can join us later. The program itself consists of an email of it every day and a video every week. You can participate as much or as little as you want. If you take
Hmm.
3 emails and apply them, they will improve your life. If you take all of the emails, they'll improve your life even more. But every day I'll email a little suggestion of something that you can do with a little process that helps to serve as a tool for you to make some positive change. So that's going to be going on starting April 19th.
And can you tell us, first of all, is it an online program, and how long will it take
This is
to
a three
complete
week,
it?
it's all online. You don't have to change your schedule. You don't have to, make a lot of extra time. You don't have to fast or anything like that. Um, so yeah, it's a 3 week program. Starts April 19th and then goes until May 9th.
Yeah. And well, I have another question for you.
Sure.
Can I make it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, actually, you told us before that actually, if people know how to do it, they can help their body detox continuously and get rid of different kind of toxins in everyday life using different food and substances. But I'm really wondering if there is, let's say, a recommended frequency in which people can more consciously do a detox per year.
Personally, I like to recommend that people do a detox at least twice a year. And what I mean by doing a detox is taking about 3 weeks of time
Mhm.
to really support nutritionally with herbs, with nutrients, with lifestyle, support a healthier detoxification system in their body and make that the habit. Part of the reason why we do these programs in 3 weeks at a time is that we're establishing a new habit. The idea is not to clean your body out in 3 weeks. That's not going to happen necessarily, right? But the idea is to establish a new way of being in your body so that you're constantly cleaning your own system out more on a regular day-to-day basis. So we can do that,
Mm.
establish those habits in 3 weeks. So that's what we're doing. So I would recommend at least twice a year doing a 3 week program that helps you to reestablish a healthier baseline, a healthier habit for your life and your body.
Is there a particular time during the year that you would recommend to do that?
Typically, springtime and late summer are some of the best
Uh-huh.
times. The reason why is because during the winter time, we tend to, our bodies tend to shift the focus to a different way of being. We start to tend to become less active and
Mhm.
to put on some weight a little bit. And so that process actually um, activates certain genes that are moving us in the opposite direction as our
Ah,
detoxification. So biochemically, our bodies are naturally made during the spring and summer months to detoxify more.
okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. And can you describe to us how can a person feel after a detoxification program? I mean, what people may notice after having followed your 21-day challenge?
People typically will feel an increase in energy and an increase in their mood. Also, their endocrine, their hormonal state will change a lot. So women may notice their menstrual cycle becoming more regular, and could even notice that they have less intense pain around their cycle and less
Menstruations.
symptomatic types of less inflammation, less symptomatic types of processes that they go through during their cycle. So that's a really common one. People also notice typically that they will have fewer aches and pains in general. There's decreased inflammation in the system.
Hmm. Would you
Less
say
headache.
that detoxification can also help with symptoms like premenstrual symptom?
Absolutely. Hormonal dysregulation is a huge part of the problems that we're having due to toxicity.
Mm.
So toxicity really impacts how our steroid hormones, how our amino acid derived hormones interact with our cells. So that's a really big area that shows up when people are toxic.
I see. All this information is so interesting and so important, and I'm really grateful that that you accepted my invitation to talk to my people, to the audience that is hearing us. And it's so interesting also if only you think that you are in Hawaii this moment and I'm in Sweden, and we can have this conversation and people can take advantage of that,
And
benefit out of it.
the same wardrobe.
Of course. Thank you so much, Lane, and I will be really happy to have you with us again in the future.
I would love that. Thank you very much.